Welcome back, everybody. It's now my pleasure to introduce this morning's opening keynote, the Honorable Sophie Pierre from the Ktunaxa First Nation. Auntie Sophie, so great to have you. Sorry through that auntie in there. We were just talking before this started, and my time with Sophie goes back to when I was a young teenager, and my dad would take me to the AFN meetings, and I got to sit with people like yourself and Chief Joe Gosnell, and it's just really an honor to have you here today. So please.
Thank you very much, Dallas. I send you greetings this morning from Ktunaxa. I'm sitting here in my home, in my community of Akam, just outside of Cranbrook, in the southeast corner of British Columbia, in what we call Ktunaxa. And it is so good to be with you all today. At least in this manner, we can come together. But as Dallas said, it would be so much better, it would be so much nicer if we were able to gather, as I know that we had all hoped we'd be able to gather in Nanaimo. And I was really looking forward to that. I haven't been to Nanaimo for a while, and actually I haven't been anywhere for a while. I think that we're probably all pretty much in the same boat. But, these opportunities, so to come together virtually and to participate sometimes in activities that we might not otherwise have an opportunity to, is kind of one of those mixed blessings. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to just open up our discussion. And first of all, I must say that I want to thank the organizers. Thank you, Dallas, and the people that helped to organize this conference with you, for the invitation to join you. I'm very pleased to be here. It's good to see some names of individuals that I've known over the years and really have not been able to see for a while. And it's just good to still have these opportunities. These past 18 months have been pretty challenging. They've been challenging for everyone. When Dallas and I were just chatting a little bit before the start of this meeting, I said that, one of the last people that I actually saw was John, his dad, at a conference in Vancouver. We were all together in March of 2020, and we were talking about the challenges then of overlapping and shared territory. And, those types of issues are still there, and we're still working on ways that we can ensure that shared territory and all of those types of issues are still fully discussed, and resolutions are found for that. So these past 18 months has also given us an opportunity to focus on the strengths that we have, and also to recognize and have some time to focus on where we have still some weaknesses, some areas where issues, and particularly issues that are very close to and have a great deal of effect on people, that we have time to focus on that. But I think that the challenge that the past 18 months that the pandemic has put on us, if nothing else, has really underscored how much we rely just on the basics, and that we always must rely on the basics in order to get us through. And I'm talking about the basics of respect, the basics of communication with each other, the basics of strengthening relationships. And so I want to talk about each of those. The basics, the first always that I go with it is respect. And that's respect for the land, respect for the people. We are here for the next 2 days having discussions around opportunities in the resource environment, that the logo of this meeting, the motto of this meeting is working together with the land. And so first and foremost, always having respect with that land, with our land, then creates the resource opportunities. But those resource opportunities are not going to be met fully if we do not have and at all times show respect for the land, as we need to be doing. Respect for the people. Respect for the people in where they are. I gave you greetings from Ktunaxa, the Ktunaxa Nation. This is where we are in southeastern British Columbia. There are Indigenous people in every corner of this country, or this whole area that we call Turtle Island. And so the respect of the people, the land, the culture, the language, in order to take advantage of those resource opportunities, we must have always at forefront the respect of the people where they are. From having respect with land and the people, being able to communicate with each other, always keeping those lines of communication open, and remembering that the most important part of communication is listening, and is listening so that you're understanding and that you are at one with the people that you are talking with. Not listening to the point of where you're developing your response immediately, but in fact listening with not just open ears, but an open heart. Listening completely. With that respect, communication, having good communications, we have then the foundation for creating and strengthening the relationships that we know are what's important in order for us to pursue the opportunities that are there for us as we go forward with the resource development opportunities that are there, that we can, those are dependent on good, strong relationships. We're looking at, you're going to be talking about effective partnerships. What do those mean? Having that time, taking that time to develop that relationship so you have a full and clear understanding of what an effective partnership is, making sure that both parties are understanding and are agreeing on what that means. And I think that one of the most important foundations of effective relationships is that you are meeting at the local level. You're starting from the local level and building out, meeting the needs of the local level, and then meeting the needs of the corporate place. Some of those needs may very well be filled by developing capacity at the local level, and you find those out when you listen to the people and meet them at the local level. It's always also very important to celebrate success, and I know that many of the participants in this conference, you've had success, and you need to continue to work on what created that success in order to help it continue, and then to share that success with others and recognize everyone else as they're coming along, recognize that success. I just want to put in a plug for the Indigenous Business Awards that are going to be announced next week. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to come together and have a nice big gala like that. That really makes it a nice time and of recognition. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that we continue to recognize success. And that is so important. Recognize success, and then you can move on to recognizing new opportunities as they come forward. And like everything else, this too shall pass. And those new opportunities are out there, and they're ready for us. And we ensure that we, by accepting change, recognizing that change happens, moving forward with change, that we can embrace the opportunities for change. So That's my message. And I'm, again, very grateful for being here today. And my message to you is respect, listening to people, and communicating with each other, strengthening relationships that exist, recognizing each other's success, recognizing new success as it comes forward, and encouraging that. I believe it's been difficult not to watch the timer, so I think I'm out of time. So thank you very much for that, Dallas.
Thank you so much, Sophie. Tremendous messaging. So if anyone's got any questions, please go to the app and have them in. But being that there's none, I'll take the fact that I have control of the microphone right now. And we've been at this for a long time, talking about First Nations rights, title, and we've seen that evolution into where we need to be at the start of projects now.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on DRIPA and some of those things that are bringing to fruition the years of battles like we were talking about earlier? I think of the days of Bill Wilson, yourself, my dad, who were at the table fighting for us to be there. And now they just passed some legislation, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But people are acting like it flicks a switch that just makes this all a reality now. So maybe some of your thoughts and insight on DRIPA and how it needs to be used effectively.
Well, Dallas, I think that really is sort of my message here is that the whole idea of communication, of listening. I mean, we had, for, as you described, for decades, we have been pounding the table trying to have our points listened to. We have gone to courts. Courts have forced industry, quite frankly, to listen. I like to think that eventually we would have got to this place had we not had corporations not been forced to. This is all the resource development that is going on. This is on our lands. And so it's that respect of the land, recognizing that it's on our lands, and recognizing and respecting, dealing with our people and listening to us. And I think even governments come along and start to realize that is how we're going to move ahead. And the most, really, I just want to, I can't state this any more forcefully, is that there are incredible new opportunities that are coming down the pipe for us. There are opportunities that are being created right now by change, by change in by climate change, by having this world economy. Look at how we're being affected right now because of goods not being able to be transferred. So recognizing those new opportunities, but in order for us to really benefit from that, we have to be able to listen to each other, and we have to be able to get to that place where we are comfortable with speaking with each other and listening to each other and creating those new opportunities together. Because as is in your material, that when First Nations benefit, everyone benefits. It's not true the other way around, though. It is not true. Everyone else can be benefiting and First Nations are left out. That is ending, thank God.
Well said, well said. It's interesting watching time develop. I remember being the youngest person in the room for a long time in a lot of the battles that I've been in.
Yeah.
And now we have this younger generation who are educated, they're still culturally grounded. Do you feel comfortable handing off the torch, so to say? I know that you've, stepped back a little bit on your day-to-day roles and responsibilities because you have some young leadership there. How do you feel about this, this evolving class of young leaders that we have?
Well, it's inevitable, because I remember the day when I was the youngest in the room, and those days are long gone. I am always quite one of the oldest people in the room. And, I've always known that I have a responsibility, that right from, no matter how young you are, there's always someone that's younger than you. That's the way it is. That's the way of nature. And so you're always have to be very careful with what you're doing and with how you're conducting yourself, because you are always in a teaching mode. You're always in a mentor mode, whether you consider yourself to be a mentor or not. And so I feel that today we have, and I'm very pleased that we have the leadership that we have here in my nation. And they're we have very young. I think the oldest chief within our nation now from one of our communities is my own son. So you can imagine how old that makes me. So the that leadership is very, very important, and I think that the teachings, the grounding is there, and it shows, it comes out in the type of leadership that continues in our area. And I think that in many of our Indigenous communities throughout the country, that it's that same way. But yeah, it's inevitable, that you have to move on. But you have to meet your responsibilities of passing the knowledge on.
For
So
sure.
long as and so long as you as an individual can feel good that you have passed on the knowledge that is your responsibility to pass on, then you can sit back and relax and just be an advisor from the sidelines. And
Nice.
yeah, which is
That leads in that leads into a good question I've got from someone in the audience. We talk about capacity, and capacity building. What does capacity look like to you?
It depends. Okay, so let's talk about with the resource industry. Capacity to me looks like where we don't have to make a point of being able of filling the positions that are developed. You go into a new business relationship, and in that business relationship, you have people that are able to step in and take on that and do that development within your community. You don't need to bring other outside experts in. You've got your own internal experts, and that's really what I talk about when I look at capacity. And I think that it has it. We have to ensure that we are building that capacity where an individual is doing what is able to excel in what it is that they want to be doing. So if you've got someone that wants to be in the resource industry, that wants to be in mining, that wants to be a forester, or that wants to be like in fisheries, a biologist, that they have all the opportunity they have, that we are ensuring that the opportunity is there for that person to excel in what it is that they are passionate about. So I think that capacity and passion, those two need to be going together.
That's so tremendous. There's a difference between building capacity and just simply filling capacity, and I think you've
Yeah.
really, helped us put some perspective around that. So, as usual, there's always a clock moving somewhere that has to tell us what we're doing next. But like I said, I wish we were here so we could have a hug and a greeting and all that. But I just really want to thank you, Sophie, for participating this morning and
Absolutely.
sharing your thoughts.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay,
It's
thank
good
you,
to see.
Ktunaxa. Good to see you. I would now like to instruct the audience to navigate back to the agenda tab to select the next session, which is our first panel, Developing Economic Opportunities in BC's Coastal Communities, starting at 9:30. And I'd also just like to again thank Sophie Pierre for that tremendous insight and starting us off on the right foot. It's really important to make sure that we're all of the same mind and heart so this information can flow properly. So thank you, Sophie, for starting us off. Kayla Ketzler.